You know, 34% or just over 1/3 of all of Americans have a side hustle. Side hustles are everywhere. So the question becomes, why are they so prevalent and should you have one? Today on Mindset with Brad Barrett, let's go. Welcome into Mindset. I'm Brad Barrett. This is producer Jared. And as always with us, the lovely Kira. Hey, we're gonna talk about a side hustle. Do you need one? It's interesting that these side hustles are on the rise. And the question becomes, I think for a lot of you who maybe even clicked this video or probably thinking about this is, do I need one? And I wanna come to you from a financial advisor's perspective and share with you the other question, which is, do I need one to retire? Do I need one to live the lifestyle I want to live? We're gonna answer all that today because I think it's actually, look, by the way, if you don't know what a side hustle is, just to be clear, it's like a second, third, or fourth job.
I'm a proctologist, a dermatologist, a gynecologist, a cardiologist, a brain surgeon, an eye surgeon, a nose, ear, throat, and man, and I also help run the flower shop.
The other day I said that.
I would hope people know what that means.
I would too. I'm no shade if you don't, but the other day I was saying, well, what's a side hustle? I'm like, second job.
Second job.
And this was one of my older clients who I loved to do. It's like, oh, you mean work?
Yeah.
I'm like,
right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. More
yes,
work.
I do.
With a different name.
More work.
Yeah.
Different name, more work. Look, whether we like it or not, why we're talking about it today is because side hustles are everywhere. So we're going to talk about what they are, why it's so prevalent nowadays. We're going to go into all of that here on our show today. But before we do that, as always, we're going to check in with the comment section because we love our family. We've been getting a ton of comments, so thank you. And keep sending us your questions and your comments. What do we got going on today?
We love the comments.
We love the comments.
Somebody said, damn, I want some KFC.
I don't even know what that was in reference to, but
Talking
me
about
too,
Colonel
brother.
Sanders.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Remember
That's right.
Oh,
Me too. I want KFC at all times.
all day, every day.
I can't think
Right.
of a time throughout a day that I wouldn't want it.
Popcorn chicken.
I mean, all of it. The gravy, the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm a mashed potato bowl man.
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
That
Just
bowl.
all in a bowl.
When they came out with that bowl, I'm like, well, there goes my diet.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I like
Solid.
that one. Me too. I want KFC too.
Me too.
Somebody said, nah, bud, we don't have our own stuff. You haven't sold nothing in your life. Great grammar.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Right.
It's true.
My dad always goes, oh, what'd you sell today? Because he's an old school sales guy. I'm like, I've been doing the same thing my whole life, being a financial advisor. I'm like, Dad, I don't sell anything. I provide a service. And he goes, oh, okay.
Not all of us sell things.
I don't sell things. I'm providing a service.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, maybe I haven't sold something. I don't even know what that was, whatever.
You sell dreams.
I sell dreams.
Dreams.
Nah, bud.
Not bad.
And then Swashington 942 said, time to start. Our citizens are perfectly able to produce what we need.
Time to start. What video was that on?
This is top tips to help you get out of debt in 2025.
All right.
It is time to start
It is time to start.
getting out of debt.
Get out of debt.
Thanks, Swashington.
I like it. It's Washington. Keep it coming.
Brad, let's get into some stats. There's some surprising side hustle stats.
I'm
out there.
interested. Give it to me.
Oh, you want some stats?
I want some stats. Give it to me.
I got stats. Okay.
I got stats. You want stats? I got stats.
You
You come to me, I got stats.
want a green toe?
You want a green
I
toe?
can get you a green
I can get you a green toe. No, you want a toe? I can get you a toe. I can get you a toe by 3 o'clock.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe. Believe me. There are ways, dude. You don't want to know about it, believe me.
Yeah, but Walter.
Hell, I can get you a toe by 3 o'clock this afternoon with nail polish.
I watched it last week.
So good.
Still
Kira,
good.
have you seen that movie yet?
Nope.
Oh my God. Homework. Go watch Big Lebowski. Everyone comment on that. Let
Big
Kira know the movie she needs to
Lebowski.
watch. Fun fact for you. We just came from lunch in the pre-production discussion. The lovely Kira does not like Forrest Gump.
Bold opinion.
Wrong-
Very unpopular
Wrong opinion. Not bold.
Okay.
Anyways, I
Okay.
digress. Fun fact for y'all. That shook us. Stats.
Anywho,
Give it to me.
Some side hustle stats from 2025. 34% or 1 in 3 Americans has a side gig,
A third of America. Wow.
according to the study.
Okay.
Side hustlers who dedicate 12 hours per week to their business earn a median of $1,122 per month in the side hustle.
Interesting.
That was surprisingly low for me.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work for not a lot of payout.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My math brain has to go into, so what is that? 1 divided, I'm just curious.
12 hours per week.
$93 an hour. I mean, it's not a bad hourly rate
No.
Oh.
if you break it down. Interesting.
No, it's 12 hours per week.
Oh, per month, so 48.
month.
Oh, yeah, sorry, hold on. So
Quick math.
$23 an hour.
That's.
I mean, look, it's a minimum, it depends on what state you live in, it's above minimum wage for many.
Yeah.
But I don't know that having a side hustle, that was worth it. I mean, like, let's say we're going to talk about it today, but like gas alone would eat up that hourly rate.
Depending on what your hustle is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyways, interesting.
70% of Gen Zs have a side hustle.
70%. Gen Z, remind me, is your generation, right?
My generation.
Friends, just so you know, I love everybody. So the whole generational thing, I don't understand.
Except
So I always
our
check in.
generation.
Okay, to be fair, when someone says LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, I have an issue with that. Yes, we were just each.
You know who we're talking about.
We do. If you're watching this, you know who I'm talking
who
about.
you are.
You know who you are. So anyways, the side point.
But in the future, they say, I read a stat that said 83 million Americans will perform gig work or side work
Yeah.
by 2027. So they're just expecting these numbers to climb and climb.
Do you have a side hustle?
I feel like random things will pop up all the time, but not like a designated
Yeah.
thing, you know? But I also feel like people our age, like our parents always were like, just say yes to whatever. Like that was always,
Yeah, any work comes down the pike, the answer is yes.
Yeah,
I know
like-
my grandfather was like that. Brad, if you get a job, you say yes.
yeah, like when I turned 18, everyone was like, just say yes to any opportunity that comes along,
Yeah.
which is like in theory good, but also like
We have to have
there's some
discernment.
things
You have
should
to have
say
some
no to.
discernment too, yeah.
Yeah. But I do think, like for me and my friends, like the extra cash is needed, you know?
Like how many of your friends
Hmm.
would you say work more than one job, multiple jobs?
All of them. For sure.
Interesting.
Like I think
Oh.
all of my friends would work or do work like 5 part-time jobs instead of like 1 full-time job.
So that's my question. It's and I'm curious if you don't mind, because we said pre-show we were going to talk to
Oh,
Kira
yeah.
about this, because we're talking about her generation a little bit. I want to
the
ask
hot
some questions
seat.
on this. Do you feel it's more that they're not settled down in their career for a career type job, making enough money that they didn't need to do it, and they're kind of just dipping their toes into different things? Or is it just because, and we'll talk about this here, technology and things that are around us just make it easy to make some money? I mean, is it, you know what I mean?
I think it's like a combination of a ton of things. I think actually one of my stats was that social media marketing, AI spokesperson videos, writing website content, and songwriting are the leading side hustles.
Wait, say
which-
those ones again?
Social media marketing,
Okay.
AI spokesperson videos, which I have no idea what that is.
AI spokespro, okay.
But interesting.
Comment
What-
if you know what that means. Let us know.
Yeah, educate us, please.
Educate us.
Writing website content and songwriting.
Huh.
Are the
Songwriting is a big need in our society.
or they're the highest paying.
I
I
think
looked
those
up
are
the most
highest paying.
common.
Highest paying
They
side
said-
hustles.
Yeah, which
Interesting.
can all be remote. So I think there's
Right.
like an availability to make money without having to go in somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of my friends just make lower wages, so they kind of time stack where they'll work one job from 6 to 2
Yeah.
and then get off from that and work 3 to 6 somewhere.
But my question is, are they investing in like a career that ultimately could make enough salary or money to live the life they want to live?
I feel like the C word is not a thing in my generation.
That's what I'm getting at. By the way, the C word is not the C word we were talking about.
Yeah, what's
Career.
the C word?
Career.
The capital
Career.
C career.
Career. It's interesting. That's kind of fascinating in its own right.
For
Because
sure,
I've counseled a lot of clients and their kids around that, and it just seems like it's almost like apprehension to getting into something, like it's almost like a commitment that they're not willing to make. And I'm like, wait, I'm
I
literally
think-
offering you like a job, like a career job. All right. So first and foremost, I think many workers are taking on second jobs to cope with inflation. We got to talk about that. That's kind of the elephant in the room.
This is the big
here.
why.
Totally.
I mean, why we're seeing it for the most part. The baby boomers didn't have it.
Right.
The Gen X, my parents, our parents didn't really have it. So why are so many have it today?
It's true. Well, number one, and I'll say this as an advisor who's been working in this financial service industry for over 2 decades now. If you're under 30, you're going to hear from me that it is very different than it used to be. It is. I think there's a lot of my generation or older that are poo-pooing the younger generation, like, oh, you just got to work harder and not, and I'm like, and here's the thing, and there is an extent to that, because this whole like going to Starbucks, putting your laptop up, thinking you're going to create the next app is going to get you there. Like, that's fine. However, whatever.
It's a great dream.
It is fine. But what I'm trying to say here is things are just more expensive. And here's some stats on that. Since 1973, U.S. productivity has grown over 3.5 times faster than hourly compensation. That's kind of the key point. Basically, over time, things have become more expensive relative to what people are making.
That's
Flash
bad.
forward.
That's
what's up?
bad.
That's bad. No bueno.
Can't buy the things you want.
Can't buy me love. Can't buy the things you want. Mm-mm. right? To back that up, real median wages have grown only 10 to 15% over the past 50 years. That's actually crazy, right? While the cost of housing, healthcare, and education have far outpaced both inflation and wage growth. So what we're trying to say here, which I think is crazy to think, is that we have this like, essentially we have everything going around us getting too expensive when we're not making enough. And this is coupled with the fact that we have the opportunities through technology, advances, and a whole bunch of things to make more money. And I think this whole thing about 5 years ago with the pandemic around working from home, right, allowed for more time in the day. You weren't commuting, those kind of things, to do said side hustles, whatever they are. And I think our generation that we're putting it on, Gen Z, your generation, right?
That's us.
We're putting it on them like, oh, this is there. I'm like, well, but they have this is what they're dealing with. They weren't dealing with the 80s and 90s, issues that we were dealing with. I mean, it was always, look, I always tell people, it's always been expensive to buy your first home. That's not a new thing. This term, it's relative of it being more expensive, and the stats do show it is. And I actually, from a advising practice,
It's a lot more.
it is a lot more. So,
Yeah.
But it really happened in probably the past 8 to 10 years.
Oh yeah,
And it really ramped up the past 5 years.
I remember being younger and thinking like, oh my gosh, $1 million home is a mansion. And
Now it's a bathroom in Studio City.
Oh my gosh, yeah, with like a microwave, and they're like,
Yeah.
this is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen. I love those memes that go around where it shows like an old beaten up like kid's toy house in the backyard, and it's like some high-end real estate broker, the voiceover walking him through like, here's a $1.5 million, 1 bedroom, 2 bath.
A
Like,
great starter home.
great
for any
starter
family.
home, and it's like this like absolute shanty.
But listen to this, and I'll say this. This is why I really look at like the younger generation say, yeah, this
I
is
get
harder.
this, yeah.
Because like this stat, the medians, and this is 2022, but it's pretty close now, or
Yeah.
if not worse. The median sale price of a single family home in the US was 5.6 times higher than the median household income. 5.5 times higher.
Wow.
And this is higher than at any point on record dating back to the 1970s. So
Yeah.
what you're seeing is, and I like this chart, I think we should go over this, but
Yeah.
these legit house prices are higher than what you can come out, even working 10 years in your career, people can't afford these things.
It's true.
What's the adage? Like your house payment should be
28 to the
2 weeks salary or 1 week?
Well, it depends. It should be 1 or 2 weeks salary, but in the CFP world, we look at it like it should be 28 to 35% of your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Your house coverage should be 28 to 35% of your monthly income.
So I can buy a tent.
Pretty much. But here's the point, and to round that out, the thing that I starred here on all of our research here, and I know we're stat heavy, but this lends to the point we're trying to bring up here, right, is to why someone would have a side hustle and what they are and how it's come around. Over the 50-year span from 75 to 2025, the average annual inflation rate was approximately 3.63%. Now, by the way, that might stun some people because I think everyone still thinks it's like 7 or 8%. Remember, this is an average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
3.63%. Remember that number, resulting in a cumulative price increase of about 494% over that time span. Think about that. This means that prices in 2025 are nearly, to your point, 6 times higher than 1975. So a $100,000 house that you could have bought in 1975 basically is $600,000. You multiply that, any number you use. $1 million house, to your point, is $6 million. Now, we're giving you these stats simply to say that inflation and the costs around us are massively impacting things.
I do feel for people, especially getting into the workforce for the first time and buying things,
Totally.
because this is like feels like unsustainable. So we're showing why, and now
Correct.
I fully understand why. Like more and more people are going like, I need a side hustle.
Yeah. Look, generally speaking, there's an issue with price versus wages. So the need or the feeling of the need and wanting and the desire to go work side hustles is there. And so with that said, I want to transition into, the question is, do I need a side hustle? Look, friends, I'm going to attempt to answer this from a financial advisor's perspective in the best way I know how. Okay. Which is, if you feel like you need it, then you need it. Print, copy, we're good. Let's go.
If you feel like you need it, you need it.
We could just end the show there.
Bye.
Here's what I mean by that. I always start with my clients and I ask a 3-letter word. Why? And let me just start with this. If you're answering that because you need more money, I need you to look at 2 things before that. One is, where are you spending your current money? And I know that's really boring and lame. It's like, oh, dude. But hear me out, dude. You don't need to go necessarily have that side hustle if you can get where you're spending your money in check, okay? Secondarily, and not necessarily in order, take a look at your current income source. Is it a career? Is it already a side hustle? Is it already a not a career, not a long-term situation? Before addressing a second thing, make sure you address the first thing. Because if like, well, Brett, hold up. I'm spending within my means. I just feel like I need more money because this job's not going anywhere. Well, then maybe we want to work through the job. This purpose versus passion thing, right? Like I always say, you ever heard that saying before? Like, just follow your passion, right? It's the most bogus advice you can give anybody.
100%.
Passion is an emotion, and you don't make financial decisions on emotions. We talked about that on a previous show.
Well, and to you guys' point, you were talking about careers dead.
Yeah.
What people don't realize, a job is usually limited. You
Yeah.
do a job. A career, there's steps
There's
of
advancement.
progression where you will make more
Yeah.
money over time.
So that's how I would start with the whole thing is, do I need a side hustle? Ask yourself why you think you need that. Because here's the end of the day. This is kind of a secret little sorry for the gotcha moment, but like end of the day, it's not for me or any advisor, any other person to answer whether or not you need a side hustle.
But
That's a you question.
I 100% agree. And I think if a friend asked me this, it's maybe different if it's a financial advisor asking.
True.
As a friend, and I love that answer for why you doing it, I would then add to that, here's the reality, like here's the pitfalls.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about time away from family, time like
Yeah.
that. I think
Opportunity costs.
opportunity costs, exactly. Like if you're going to spend your 20 extra hours a week
Mm-hmm.
at this job, are you going to miss your kids growing up?
Yeah.
And these kind of things. So I think there's the why is really big, and then
The
understanding
why-
the negatives.
Yeah. It's really simple, 3-letter word, and that's how I'd answer that question is, do you need it? Why? Keep in mind, okay, and this is important to note of everything I just said, that the financial benefits can be somewhat slim and different than you think. And here's a stat I want you to know. Overemployed. You like that term? It's
Overemployed.
mean more than one job. Overemployed Americans had an average annual average income of $57,865, which is slightly higher than those with one job, which is $56,000. This is coming from the Federal Labor Bureau.
But an extra $1,000.
That's what I'm saying.
It's nominal.
It's super nominal. Now, again, this is an average, and people might say, well, Brad, I'm killing it. Look, you do you, fine. But just make sure you're managing your time, all right?
And I would say, like, when you're doing part-times, and I've read stats where some of these people have 2, 3, 4 hustles,
Yeah.
and maybe they don't have one job, but they have 4 jobs. Like, really add up the time and the money and being like, well, could I just go get one job and make...
Also, we were just talking about this. Fun little fact about our producer, Jared. He will literally go buy a bottle of mustard instead of going ask the deli counter for packets of mustard.
I had
Simply-
to ask them.
Hey,
Kira
where's
had
this
to
come
ask.
from? Hey.
I'm throwing it on the bus a little bit. But hear me out.
Where's this coming from?
We
There's
just
a point.
needed to spice up our
I need
show.
to spice up. This
guess.
is getting a little dull today. No, hold on. Hear me
Oh
out. There's a reason
my.
why I'm saying this, okay? We love Jared around here. And many of you might be like Jared. Don't be like Jared. I mean that in the nicest way. Here's what I mean.
No, I agree with that.
Shoot your shot. If you're gonna, for example, let's say that stat was you, and maybe you're in your career, you're making $56,965, but the average was you can make another $1,000. To your point, Kira, by going working a side hustle. Shoot your shot. Go ask for a raise. What's the harm in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you value, I mean, you know what I mean? It came up as we're talking, just a point of the matter. Don't go buy a bottle of mustard. Ask the deli counter for the free packets.
True.
You know what I mean?
Well, another cool fact about Jared is that your wife is like the side hustlers of side hustlers.
She's the queen of the hustle.
She's a rock star.
Yeah, she's...
I know we should really have Amy on to talk about side hustles.
Yeah. But she's a
She's
rare
got
breed.
like 8 side hustles.
But actually, you know what? That's a good point because there's also a DNA thing to be said here.
Yeah.
Because Amy, we love Amy. We know she's wired that way. Like God put on her heart, she can do a lot of good things. She's super logical, super energetic, very smart. She can do a lot of different things.
Creative.
We were talking about lunch. My wife Veronica's the same way. Like we were talking, like we don't ever like watch TV or watch. She always has to be doing something. She has to be doing something. That's like in her DNA.
Those uber productive people.
Super. But
Yeah.
the ones that you can match that with intelligence, with logic, with organization, like those are impactful. And like you want them doing a couple of different things.
Yeah.
It helps us. It helps us as a family unit, helps us as an economy. So it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying understand your why is what I'm trying to get at as to why you're doing it. You know what I mean? And a lot of Amy's purpose is just to share her story. A lot of hers is, for God's kingdom as well. A lot of it's charitable. A lot of it's for our church. A lot of it's for a lot of great things, as well as service-oriented things she's really good at that she can help people with.
It's also for new patio furniture.
And
Boom.
the beauty of capitalism is this. If you do right by others, this is biblical too. If you do right by others, yours will follow.
Yeah.
It's just so, it's someone going around that and saying, well, you're just doing it to buy new patio furniture. Well, you just missed up on the good I was doing for a lot of other people.
Right.
That's my benefit. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Anyways, a couple things that I want to talk about here. If you're looking at a side hustle and you're thinking, like, what is this guy talking about? All these stats. Maybe I do need one. Maybe I answered my question as to why. Here's 10 of them. We're going to go through them real quickly and we'll promise we'll end the show. Question
10
free.
most popular side hustles in America.
Are these ranked from 1 to 10? Or are these just 10 that are most popular?
They're not in a particular order.
So these are just the 10 in general. You can rank them yourselves. First one on the list is virtual assistant, the VA world.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And we know what that is, but it's interesting, right? You can do email management, scheduling, whatever. It's all from wherever you are.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
That's
a lot of money.
That is.
$3,800 to $5,300 a month.
That's a lot of money. So anyways, the next one, which is interesting to note too, to that point, delivery driver. This is a big one.
This is a big
the
one.
The DoorDash, the Uber Eats.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. The average earnings on that we're showing is $3,500 to $5,000 a month.
I would be curious though.
That's good coin,
but
dude.
these are max.
True.
But also, they're going to have costs for gas or vehicle maintenance.
Right. So you got to think of it like a business, right? So you have that's your top line revenue. Then you got to take out all of your cost of goods and all that stuff.
There is overhead to some of these things.
But minimal.
Minimal, yeah.
Typically for those kind of things, I talk about some clients I know that do this, right? Their car is already their car.
Yeah.
The next one is like an e-commerce seller. So think like Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, right? The earnings vary widely on that one. Freelance services, writing, design, programming, online tutoring. Not sure where that one came from. I don't know but apparently
I've heard
that's
that
a thing.
this is really big.
Is it really?
I know a lot of friends that are like English teachers.
Really?
Online,
And they just do it online?
this. Yeah, and they make bank.
$3,200 to $4,500 a month, the average.
Yeah.
Pet sitting and dog walking. That's always a side hustle you can do at night or in the mornings.
I have a lot of friends that do that.
Yeah. I've seen these. Online surveys and market research. Give us your time and we'll give you $100. I mean, hey, it's a thing.
Please, let me look. Let me look at you. Don't do this one. Don't bother people.
I get probably 8 to 10 a day.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. 9th one, affiliated marketing, promoting products or services. We've seen those kind of things before. $5,000 to $10,000 a month is the average in that one.
Those are like influencers though.
Yeah. That's,
influencers.
This is where we get that. So, and those can be a lot of times influencers is a great category. Those are typically side hustles. They have jobs and they're just doing the social media stuff on the side.
My issue with that though is that people promote the influencer life as their main job.
Yeah.
And then that's what I think has created this like facade in my generation of like not having everything we need because you have somebody marketing everything to you every 5 seconds.
I tend to agree.
Marketing
That's also my
is the
issue.
devil.
It's got look. My issue is the same point is when I see a guy promoting like this is what I eat in a day to be at 10% body fat or all these. I'm like, bro, you're 24. Call me when you're 40 with a mortgage, a wife, and 2 kids. Like, shut up.
You have it easy.
Like, bro, stop. I was 10, dude. 24. Come on, dog. All right. Last one is, and my wife loves this one, flipping items for resale. So I got to talk about Veronica for a second. When we talked about girl math the other day.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is my wife's Mother's Day. I love you, V, if you're watching this. Her Mother's Day, I love her so much. She's so easy in this stuff. She doesn't like days about her. She wanted to do a bunch of returns on Mother's Day. That was her thing. She was so excited for it too, right? But I kept poking her at this, and she kept saying the word, we're going to make like $500, Brad. And I'm like, time out. We're making $500? Yeah, we're going to returns, we're going to make it. I'm like, what planet are we making? And she goes, I know what you're going to say. I'm like, no. I'm going to say it because we're not making $500.
Getting our money back.
Getting it back. Yeah. And then she goes, this is her deadpan. She goes, yeah, we're making $500. I'm like, well.
Yeah.
Argument. Yeah. See, you're going to back her, aren't you?
But I'm with Veronica, so.
I know.
But the real thing is like when upcycling, you get it from a yard sale, you paint it, you resell it.
That's cool. If you're into
it's
that,
really cool and
I
creative.
love watching those videos where they like strip the paint and they're sanding it.
Like that's cool. So those are some of the gigs out there you can do, side hustles. Do you need one? Ask yourself why. And I just think it's interesting to note that yes, we are in an environment, and hopefully this changes over time with some of these government policies and things. But end of the day, no one's coming to save you. You got to make sure you manage what's coming in. Equally as important is managing what's going out. And I promise you, the side hustle will the answer to that. It'll lend itself to you through that process. I know it's lame and I know it sounds boring. Just trust me, I've been doing this a long time and I've worked with a lot of clients in that regard. If you answer that question and you mind what's coming in and what's going out, it'll allow you to be better prepared to say, hey, I'm choosing to do this side hustle because it's a passion of mine versus I need to. And if you need to, if you're thinking that you need to, but you got to check what you're spending and what you're bringing in right now. Hey friends, I hope you guys enjoyed that today. We had some fun today. We're coming at you every week with a new episode. As always, if you're subscribing to our channel, thank you so much. And for those of you who are not subscribing, give us a like, send us some comments, let us know what's going on.
It's free.
It's free. It's
You can
some
do it
fun.
for free.
You can
if
do
you
it for
haven't
free.
subscribed, what are you doing?
Exactly. Like,
With
come
your
on.
life.
We're fun. We're good people here. And also send us some of your questions. We're getting a lot of questions right now. We're able to answer those here on our show. So you can send us through the comments, through a message there on YouTube, on an email, or through our direct message at Mindset of Brad Barrett. Send us some of your questions. We'd be happy to answer them. It's fun for us, and that's what we're here to do. And until next week, always remember, if you lead with love, it's going to be all right. See you guys.